Well, hello and welcome once again to EXPU Labs. I'm Bryon Ellington, Chief Learning Officer for eXp Realty, and I'm joined today by Alex Montagano with Lockstep Realty Group in Indianapolis, Indiana. Alex, thanks so much for being with us.
Bryon, thanks so much for having me. I'm really excited to be here today.
Well, Alex, thanks for joining us today, and welcome from the beautiful city of Indianapolis with Lockstep Realty there. Tell us a little bit about yourself.
Yeah, so I've been in the business since 2012, and I got in when I was 25, and I met my wife when I turned 30, and so we got married. We got married in 2020, and then we had twins in June of 2022. So from 2020 with the COVID market, and then into 2022 having kids, like the last 4 years, my life's been kind of flipped upside down a bit. And
Twins, especially. Oh my gosh.
yeah, one boy, one girl, Michael and Willa. And it's crazy. It's a new adventure every single day at home. So they're at that age where they're trying to kill each other every day, and
Yeah.
talking new words, new this. Yesterday they were jumping off the ottoman and dunking a basketball when I got home from work. So it's like a new thing every single day, I tell you.
That's awesome. Well, at least they got built-in playmates. That's funny. Well, so tell me a little bit about the team there. How many folks on the team? What level of production are you guys doing?
Yeah, so as of today, we're 23 agents and staff. So that's 18 producing agents, including myself. And then we have 5 staff. And so our staff includes, we have a director of sales. He's in charge of driving revenue within the team, running trainings, things like that. But he's also a producing agent, and he serves as sort of my right hand in the business. So he helps facilitate my transactions, and then he helps build and grow the team as well. We've got a director of operations, and I refer to her as our queen of culture. So like this afternoon, our team is doing a pedal tavern event. There'll be 16 of us down there, and she's orchestrated that event. We've got a director of finance. And so my financial advisor that I'd worked with for a long time actually just folded up his shop and came to work with us, part because hands in a lot of business endeavors. I own rental doors, I flip houses, things like that. And so he was like, hey, I think we could closely work more hand in hand if you and I just work together full time. And him and I are really good friends. So the transition to that's been really fun and pretty easy. We have a director of marketing who handles all of our systems. So like our website, our follow-up boss, our fellow system, like any system, any tech, he runs that. We've got an agent on our team who runs social media, and she's taken that role over the last 4 or 5 months and has helped evolve our brand. We've got a VA that supports our finance division that we've got through a company called Sphere Rocket, and the VA position has been something that evolves the data that we have so we can train and lead our agents better. And then my mom is actually a team member and employee. So she is like, I mean, she does everything. So she drops lock boxes. She helps plan events. She helped organize our new office that we moved into 3 weeks ago. You name it, she does it. She's kind of a jack of all trades and always willing to help. And then the rest of the team's assembled of our agents. So yeah, that's where we're at. So we have brand new agents. We had somebody recently start who's brand new, and then we've got somebody else on our team that's been in the business 20 years. So we have kind of a vast array of agents across all fronts.
Curious too about is with your sellers, are you being proactive in any way in that listing conversation at the kitchen table? How are you talking about it? Because I mean, EXP led the industry in terms of our listing agreement form now not having buyer broker offer compensation on it. Now we have a separate listing addendum that we can walk the seller through and make sure they understand if the pros and cons of offering concessions and what they might want to go ahead and decide on now versus not. How are you positioning that with your sellers?
We're just saying, hey, look, you control what we do here. You can choose which direction you'd like to go. We would recommend this route because we've seen the most success with it over the years. But in the instance you're not comfortable with it, just put your hand up and tell us. And so, look, I think so often we look at this like, oh man, they're not going to listen to us. They're not going to believe what we say. They're going to have a million objections and they're not going to want to do it. But if you walk in there like a professional and you can conduct your business like a professional and you have these conversations from a place of education and support, that person will ultimately trust you. And the people that walk the seller side that I'm not going to do and I've done it for years and that's totally fine. But are we the professional and you're hiring us to support and help you accomplish a goal of selling your home? Here are the things that you need to understand that will happen during a transaction. And it's the same. Hey, look, you're going to get a home inspection. You need to be prepared for A, B, C, and D because they happen every single time. And in the instance that they don't, that's awesome. But in the instance that they do, you need to be prepared. And here's how we work through that. So it's just another layer in the conversation of how you're helping them be prepared, and then ultimately work through that process. Keep the
Yeah.
main thing the main thing. They want to move. They want to sell their home. Help them understand what it looks like to accomplish that.
Well, and that's the thing, and I think that's the difference between newer agents and people like yourself who've been through the fires. Is that our job isn't necessarily to describe the home sale process, describe the listing process, to narrate the form, to describe what's on the form or the contract. Our job is to make sure that they understand what that means to them in light of their goals and what they're trying to accomplish, and help them understand that the decisions that they make will have ramifications. Are those the ramifications that they want? And if not, then here are other options, right?
Well, and it's similar to, let's say you walk into a property and you tell a seller, what do you want to accomplish? And they say, Alex, I got to get out of town. I'm moving quickly. I would recommend, if you want a quick sale, you need to list your home for $499,000. Well, I need to get 600. Well, hold on. Which world do we want here? We moving quick? We want the most money. What are we doing? Why don't you reiterate your goals to me so I understand what the main thing we're trying to accomplish here? And then it's my job to say, in the instance that we list your home at 600,000, here's what the market would suggest will happen. And that's what our job is. It's not however you want to steer that, but the reality is it's our job to provide the facts to them to help them understand what the feedback of the market is, because they're not in it every day. And from our perspective, 201 transactions this year so far, we have a track record and a ton of data to say, here's what the market would suggest from our perspective.
And how are you guys generating your leads?
Yeah, so we've got a handful of lead sources. So I would say, like, we do the typical stuff with the Sphere where it's like drip campaigns and follow-up boss. We utilize a system called Fellow that provides follow-up systems, and it's essentially like HomeBot on steroids, where it will provide home values for sellers if they click a button here, click a button there. But it also has customizable features for agents to kind of build to suit some of the communication that they want to have with somebody that may scan a QR code who looked at their listing, or a past client's curious for looking information. So it's like a build to suit custom factor for an agent. We do Zillow. So we're a Zillow team. We're on the Premier Agent side. We aren't a flex team or anything like that. And I've been a Zillow guy since 2016. So I'm kind of on that drug. I'm not really interested in getting off, but we've worked a system that maximizes our investment, and we train our agents to be experts as soon as that phone rings. And so it's not like an over inundated, caught off guard phone call where you're playing defense from an online lead on the other end. We do a lot of other stuff. We've got RedX. So we've got some guys on our team that cold call all the time. So they'll do expireds and for sale by owners.
Great.
We recently had an agent take an expired listing in a neighborhood that it was a condo where the average days on the market was like 70 days. From the initial conversation to penned, it took him less than 7 days to do that, and it will close in 3 weeks. And that was a $450,000 deal. And our average team price point's like 335 to 340,000. So it's like, that's a big deal for an agent to pick up the phone, set an appointment, have a house under contract and a closing all within a 30-day span. So, that's an avenue that we have. And then we do this thing. It's really cool with our sphere. So we take all of our clients and we do 3 really big client appreciation events a year. So the first one is in February. We do, we'll drop on all of our clients, all of our friends, all of our family's doorsteps, a box of sugar cookies. There'll be
Nice.
icing and sprinkles on it. And we'll tag a social media contest associated with it. And basically says, create your favorite Lockstep design, tag your agent, tag your favorite Lockstep agent, and post it on Instagram or Facebook. And you get entered into a drawing to win a zoo pass for the year. And every year that we do this, it gets bigger and bigger. I think this year we did 575 boxes of cookies, and
Wow.
Instagram will get 60, 70, 80, 100 posts, and the agents are tagging them and we're sharing them. And my friends in the industry are like, can you please stop? Like, we get it. We know, we see your brand everywhere. Please, we get it, So that's one thing we do. In November, we've done something, we've delivered pies to people's doorsteps for Thanksgiving. And
Yeah.
that was something that I transitioned to during COVID when you couldn't have people come to you. So I went
Mhm.
to the consumer and dropped it on people's doorsteps. And what's been cool with that is every year around Thanksgiving, I get a message from a handful of my clients that are like, Alex, we can count on you every single year to deliver our dessert for Thanksgiving. And that's cool as a realtor to be factored into people's life like that.
Yeah.
Uh, and then once a
Can I
year,
ask you about that real quick?
yeah, go ahead.
I think you may have answered this, but I want to make sure. You said I get a handful of clients. Are you delivering those pies to past clients, or are you doing it in a geographic farm, or is it both?
It's everything. So if you've bought or sold with me ever, you get put in the list. If you're a friend and family, if you're a lead that we're working, if you're, um, my wife works at the hospital. She's a research nurse. I think she delivered 15 pies to her team last year, and we brand them. So we put a Lockstep sticker on it. It'll have my information on it with like a business card slid into it, some sort of Thanksgiving, hey, happy Thanksgiving from us at Lockstep Realty. And it's just like a personal touch. And we get the pies from Costco. So they're $7 a piece.
Hmm.
It's funny as we've evolved it over the years. I mean, I delivered last year, it was like 190 pies across metropolitan Indianapolis. Now, I don't do that. My mom drives them around. Some of our colleagues help. And we've gotten some like, hey, look, Alex, can we please stop driving the pies? It takes up 3 days. Let's find something else. So this year we're actually transitioning to, we're throwing a big party at my office. So we just moved into a 5,000 square foot state of the art office that's been
Yeah.
custom
Beautiful
designed.
room, at least. I'm
Yeah.
assuming the rest of the office looks as well.
This is like, this doesn't even scratch the surface. It's insane what our team has put together, but we'll host a party here with bartenders. We'll have like light hors d'oeuvres. And it'll be an opportunity for people to come see our space like an open house, but everybody that comes will get a Thanksgiving pie as well. So it makes it a little easier on our agents. And then it gives us an opportunity to showcase our office as well, which we're insanely proud of. But then the last thing I would tell you, we do once a year a carnival style huge banger party, client appreciation. So we pull all our vendors in, we get bounce houses, bartenders, ice cream trucks, food trucks, magicians, a DJ, all this stuff, and we put it in a huge parking lot, and we just invite people to come out during the day between like 11:30 and 2:30. In the last couple of years, we'll get anywhere between like 400 and 500 people roll through that,
Wow.
and it includes everyone on our team to invite whoever they want. So it's like I've met people's parents, I've met people's spouses, and hey, Alex, I'm so and so. You help me on this, and I may never have met them. And coincidentally enough, one of our new team members was a client of ours. He came to the event this year. That's where I met him. 3 months later, he was like, "I got to join the team. That was insane what you guys do." And it just showcases that we value more. It's less about our transaction count and it's more about the quality of relationship and experience for the people that we work with.
Yeah.
And so we keep that at the forefront of everything that we do all the time.
Couldn't agree more. All right. Well, Alex, thanks so much for coming on and sharing your hard-won wisdom with us all. We really appreciate that.
Well, I appreciate the opportunity. It's been fun. I saw you speak at Build about a month ago,
Yeah.
and been on some calls with you before, and I appreciated our conversation and your presentation. Then it was awesome. The old 4 minute mile story. So I do remember that, and it's been great to spend some time together.
I loved it as well. And I hope to see you at EXPCon. And for everybody there at home, I hope to see you there as well. But until next time, I'm Bryon Ellington, joined by Alex Montagano in Indianapolis, Indiana. Thanks a lot, Alex. And thank you guys. Bye,
Thank
y'all.
you. Bye, guys.